Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a new HarstemCast. Today we're going to be having a look to see whether our man Creator can take out ByuN in this game here on Lightshade. As we see ByuN immediately starting with an eBay block. Now, of course ByuN's going to be the big favorite in this match. Creator, the underdog. ByuN, the former BlizzCon champion, came back from the military, almost immediately back in top shape, but the past week and a half, I want to say 2.5 weeks, he's been making a shift in his build orders that I haven't been liking too much. As an observer, if I were a Protoss player and I were about to play against him, I wouldn't mind as much, but he's become rather predictable, and also his builds just, they don't seem as good, okay? So before, when he came back initially, he kind of, he showed all the Terrans in the world, hey, eBay blocks are scary. You can make an eBay block, you can go Marine first, and from there on out just go into a factory and have very fast aggression coming out of that. And the possibility of very many different build orders as well. So basically, you delay your opponent's natural expansion, and from there on out you do some quick aggression. Nowadays, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. He plays the same eBay block a lot still, with the fast Marine, but then goes into second racks, and very often even into a third racks after this. I am not a massive fan of that, honestly. And the reason for that is two things. First of all, when you eBay block, you need to build your CC on the high ground. You can't build it on the low ground, because there's a big likelihood there's going to be a Zealot and an Adept, and because your eBay block is going to delay your command center on your side of the map, you're just going to get the SCV is just going to keep getting the Knight over and over, which means if it's something like Zealot into Stalker, if you open up with 2 racks, the only time you're going to be able to actually take your low ground is once you have like a Marauder with Concussive or something like that. So you need to wait for this tech lap to finish, you need to wait for probably actually 2 Marauders with Concussive, but 1 Marauder usually does fine enough, because at least you can slow one of the units. That's a long time that you need to wait. Now, we see that instead of playing Stalkers, there's 2 Adepts here, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, we see a Marine as a first unit from the Tech Lab barracks as well. Meanwhile, ByuN's losing a bunch of Marines here, even though it's not Stalkers and it's just Adept. Ooh. Zealot. We do see some trades here, a bunch of Marines going down, and I think by the Marine count, Creator right now can figure out, hey, wait a second, this is odd. This probably indeed is going to be a double Rex, or perhaps even a triple Rex. You can't know if it's double or triple Rex. Actually, very often when people play double Rex, they play only Marine. But when they play triple Rex, they like to add a bunch of Marauders. So if I were to see this and I was Creator, I think I would actually put ByuN right here on on double Rex into a fast third CC over here rather than triple Rex. Oh my god. That's actually not that important of a scout, because he didn't see the other Rex. So he already knew it was 2 Rex. Now he knows for sure that it's at least 2 Rex. This is a weird position as well for a Rex. So I wouldn't be surprised if Creator actually says, okay, I'm actually not going to need a blind battery. So you see he hasn't started a battery yet, which is what you'd usually do if you know it's a 3 Rex. He's going to need to start one though, because yeah, this is a little bit late. And this is probably because he thought, hey, my opponent is only on 2 Rex. I can beat that with 3-gate production, with a robotics facility, without a battery, but that's not going to be the case. Second sentry gets warped in. Now, this is very expensive, because ideally if you're staying on 2-base blink, you want a fast robotics bay, and that's going to be delayed because of that second sentry. We see the gas now is finally back to throw that robo bay down. Wouldn't be surprised if he waits a little bit though, as we have a little bit of a push here coming out of ByuN. Stims forward, but into this battery, into these units, he can't do anything, and ByuN decides to just move away for now, which probably is the correct call here. He's going to be going into concussive shells, +1. Factory is on the way as well. Nice thing here for ByuN is that there's no Robo Bay yet. This Robo Bay has been delayed, not really for a good reason. This Robo Bay should have been going down way faster already, and that's actually a pretty big mistake here by Creator, because one of the good things when you're playing against 3 Rex is that you can just rush those Colossi, because once you get a Colossi out against this type of army, you're going to be in a great spot most of the time. Okay, third base is going down faster for Creator than it is here for ByuN. ByuN's starport is pretty far away still. This observer is going to spot, hey, there's another move out on the map. ByuN does not see the observer, so won't be able to scan for it. Should probably be some type of scan. Not the greatest stalker kiting there. We see a couple of sentries, and now we're gonna see the dance between the two armies. This is so scary if you're both players, but especially for ByuN. Like, these stalkers, they could have been doing more already, but instead they decided to hang back a little bit. Marine goes down on that far left side near the potential fort base location of Creator. And Creator's halfway done with his first Colossi. This Colossi should be out already. Second Colossi should be probably on the way as well at this point, and that's going to suck. And he's also not going to be getting thermal lens. These are mistakes, by the way. As we see, there's plenty of money in the bank here for that thermal lens to start. There's plenty of money in the bank to continuously build Colossi and to get thermal lens. And thermal lens is so important if you're playing against higher Marauder counts, which we're moving towards higher Marauder counts. I mean, this is 9 Marauders out. I think there's 7 with this army so far. Means there's 2 more on the way. Yep, there they go. With +1, this is a lot of tanking power that this Terran army has. Do note there is no mines in that army. It's something that you'd usually see. If this was against Charge Blink, that would be bad. But because this is against Colossi, he actually is pretty happy that he doesn't have too many mines with his army now. See a stim forward, super battery not being popped yet. Pretty so force fields, but the position for Creator is just good because the early game for ByuN wasn't that brilliant. The only thing we're really lacking here for Creator at the moment is map vision. He's lacking vision of certain potential drop locations, which ByuN loves to abuse. ByuN, one of those guys, by the way, these days, he doesn't go into secondary tech. What he does is he gets his 1-1, he throws down an armory, a second eBay, a fourth base, and then 3 more wrecks a lot of the time. He doesn't go into Vikings, he doesn't go into Ghost until way later into the game, once Archons really become a problem. But before that, he just likes these heavy Marauder counts, and just wants to drop and multitask. Now he scans, he sees, hey, there's no observer here. That means if I load up in this location, he literally can't know. He just can't know. Now, this is a good army split coming out of Creator, right? He's near that battery. And ByuN is trying to make rotations, trying to get something to work for him, basically. A little bit of a supply block on the side of ByuN as well, which is painful. Prism makes its way out, which means... Ooh, Prism after 2 Colossi is a little bit risky against this style, but... with the battery setup, with the solid army split, Creator is going to be fine. He's building a Dark Shrine. He's also going to be going for some counter pressure. You don't see a single turret out yet for ByuN. Oof, I'm liking Creator's position. The longer this game goes, I'm starting to like it more and more. Yes, here we go. eBay Armory. You see no secondary tech, which is so popular for almost every single other Terran. If you think of Innovation, TY, Cure, Clem, just to name a couple of the top Terrans currently, they all like to go a secondary major tech structure, whether that's a starport or a Ghost Academy. They want to get that before the armories and the eBays, especially if they open up with some type of 3 racks before triple CC opener. Now we're seeing a big push heading into the 3rd base. This is not how you want to be splitting your army. There needs to be something in the main or near the 4th base here. Prism gets into the main. What's in here? There's just Zealots in there. 4th base gets cancelled. Good plays are coming out of ByuN. This was awful for Creator. This spot is not actually that useful. He wanted to use that Prism to warp in DTs close to his opponent's base, and now he's just giving his opponent time to potentially get some turrets down. He's giving his opponent more time to scout the Dark Shrine, and also he's getting Vikings right now to potentially deal with this Prism. DTs did make their way across the map unspotted. Good move forward here coming out of ByuN, but does get caught by a disruptor there in the end. 2 mines forward trying to spot, see what the rest of the army is doing. Here comes the drop into the main. A little bit of a distraction, and there we go. DT into the 3rd. DT into the natural, gets taken out immediately. Or, well, this was the one moving into the main. There's still another scan here. There's another scan over here as well. So we actually have 2 more scans remaining at this point. How many turrets have gone down already? 1 turret has gone down. 15 workers going down in the past minute or half a minute or so. Prism also falls, or was it a recall? No, ends up dying. A couple of scans wasted, 15 workers down the drain, but no fourth base yet. We actually see ghosts coming out before the fourth CC, and I think this is because he just lost 15 workers. He's like, well, I can't really afford a fourth CC at this point, otherwise we probably would have seen it go down already. This is shaping up to be a 2-2 push with Ghost, high Marauder count. Look at that Marauder count, 21, guys. 2 Zealots making their way into the next roll of ByuN as well. But he's trying to drop... Oh my god. That was extremely close. Good blink, but actually targets the wrong medevac. I am losing 2 Vikings. That's a little bit of a bait maybe. Like here, take these 2, leave my army alone. There is an army here, but it's not massive. He's going to need to be either very quick, very rapid with the force fields or with the disruptors. Gonna see this army right now, which is big, very premature on that disruptor shot. But I mean, I do understand that he doesn't need it. He needs to be careful. There's so many Marauders here, man. This is a 9 Marauder army. What are the upgrades currently? 1, 2. We have TT Blink done already, but we don't really have a massive... Oh, I lied. We do have a massive disruptor. We have 6 already. How did this happen? Here comes ByuN moving forward, but without Liberators fighting into this is going to be so freaking hard. There's so many disruptors here. Now, ByuN's micro is good. He's going to pick up once again straight under the vision of an observer, and I think ByuN realizes that, sees it, wants to scan it, is like, okay, I gotcha, I know what's going on here. We see another army moving across the map. This prism is sneaking by. ByuN doesn't quite catch that. And we see a massive rotation towards the bottom side of the map. Creator seems to be aware of everything and just matching the rotation tit for tat practically. Another bunker over here. Where are the units? In the natural there's a couple of units, but not sure if that's going to be enough. Yes, we see a major part of the army being pulled back to deal with these zealots, but not before 9 workers end up going down. That's a big deal. 11, 12, 13 workers go down against a couple of zealots. Now, it's not the biggest of deals, because Terran is not quite on a fort base. He's moving towards it now. And it also means that his army is going to be absolutely massive, right? Like, the Marauder count here is it's actually bananas. 30, or well, at this point 27 Marauders. Like that's a big freaking Marauder count, guys. That's a big Marauder count. If you don't hit the disruptor shot you need, if you get near a building, the building will just die. And this is what I was talking about. We just see pure medevac, Marauder, Marine, Ghost. We're not really seeing any type of investment into Vikings or potential Liberators. Worker count remains low. This feels like an army that needs to do damage in the next 30 seconds. But I could have said the same thing like 3 minutes ago, and ByuN just seems to be absolutely fine with this army, and he keeps playing this army for just really long into the game, very often until after he has 3-3. He just stays on this army, big disruptors. Oh my god, that's a bunch of the ghosts there. The perfect scan. 2 invisible units and he somehow missed out. That's really sad. And the scan range is massive, but that one it didn't catch. We have another prism. Man, the absolute insistent of Creator trying to get prisms in. I'm a big fan of. We see graphitic drive being researched as well. Or is that observer speed? God, I never quite know the little things right now. A little bit of an engagement. We have storms. Now you might be wondering, why would he be getting storms if he already has disruptors in his army? How does that make any sense whatsoever? And oh my god, big EMPs as we hold that pod. Super battery gets used immediately. Another EMP on the left side, but in straight up engagements, this Protoss army is just going to be stronger than the Terran army. There's 4 different types of splash. We have Archons, we have Storm, we have Colossi, we have Disruptors. Now, ooh, we're seeing carriers once again. We've seen that recently in a CES game as well, with these late transitions, poor upgraded carriers, double cybernetic score, of course the way to go. Want that armor upgrade for these interceptors as well. Shield upgrades being researched, but less important because of EMP. Now, I hope at some point I can finish my sentence that I started earlier about why Storm was important, but the game is a little bit too tense at this moment, as a fight can break out literally any moment. Do note how close the worker counts are, and do note the difference in income here as well. What the heck? He got a 4cc as an orbital? Oh man, ByuN is crazy. I should be pulling these SCVs to the natural, yes, instead of just leaving them in the mineral and actually pulls them away. That's of course the correct play. I was slightly surprised he didn't do that last time. Oh, a little bit of a pathing issue there. Oh man, oh man, oh man. What's the vision situation like here? Uh-oh. Quick move in here coming from Mr. EMP Marauder. Ah, terrible first disruptor shot. How many disruptors are still on the map? Only 4. You need disruptors against an army like this. Ooh, that's a good hit coming out of that disruptor. Another big disruptor hit. Not going to get sniped in time, but ByuN doesn't really care. He's like, okay, you might be hitting your disruptor shots, but guess what? I'm hitting all my Marauder shots, and somehow, some way, ByuN is busting through. 10 medevacs on the map. Storm's going down, but these Marauders say, I don't care. DTs are blinking forward. We'll be able to probably push this back, but a couple of mines coming in rather clutch as well. Still 2 Colossi in this army, 3 carriers, but with only +1 as an upgrade. They're not going to be too useful. The thing is that with a massive Marauder army, there actually isn't that much anti-air. And there's still a lot of interceptors alive beyond the size. It is the wisest thing right now for him to just move back home. And that move back gets spotted by this observer. Now, the reason I was going to say earlier why Storm is so freaking important in these situations is because in order to keep your side bases alive, you can easily defend them with cannons and Templar. There's no other TOS unit that is as supply efficient as the Templar at defending bases. So before we often saw this army being split, now we see this army be together, and he should have a Templar here, he should have 3-4 cannons. Problem is, Creator is rather poor right now. He's on 5 base but only 70 worker, and he's mining 10 gas, which is simply a little bit too much in my opinion. You don't actually need 10 gas for any type of Protoss composition. 8 gas is going to be the absolute max that he will need. Oh, I guess these are running out. Never mind. Creator, of course it's 18 minutes in game. Creator knows the main ran out. Excuse me for that. I said nothing, Creator. You are correct. Observer managed to run out of the scan with the observer speed upgrade. Yeah, okay, this is observer speed, this is gravitic drive. Oh, bad disruptor shots, by the way. Not really quite what you want, but this army is still looking scary, and it's kind of growing scarier. The only thing we're lacking here is upgrades for the air. I don't understand why he invests in 3 carriers and then doesn't continue upgrades for them. Maybe it's like a trick. Another thing that I saw Zest do, by the way, is when he played carriers, this is something I actually really liked, is that he completely skipped Colossi. Now, you might be wondering why is that the case. It's because in order to kill carriers, you're gonna need Vikings most likely. What are Vikings good against as well? Against Colossi. So Vikings will have a use even after you kill the carriers. Now, if you overproduce Vikings to kill carriers, imagine there's 18 Vikings here. It's like, oh, let me kill the carriers. The moment these carriers die, and you remax with like 12 new zealots or 14 new zealots, there's going to be 36 supply for the Terran in Vikings, which is completely useless. Which means you then have a good time to counterattack. Oh, there is no disruptors in this army. So many Archons and so many EMPs do have a lot of potential to do damage. This is great. It almost feels like Creator is the one attacking and ByuN defending, but ByuN, the only thing he's defending is this position. We have another Templar in this prism here trying to get storms up, not going to quite work. We see that the army is shifting towards more ghost heavy, more marine heavy to deal with these carriers. More Vikings on the way in as well. Good EMPs. All of these Archons are just absolutely melting in front of these ghosts, and their EMP still will need to kite back for now, but these trades overall I think have been pretty okay for ByuN as long as he can stop this counterattack as well. I would love if he manages to send out a couple of units to do a small counterattack. Counterattacks against armies like this, which really rely on everything being together, can be so powerful. What's the interceptor count? Only 7. This is not a fight you should be taking here. This is not a fight that you can take here, Creator. You need to rebuild some of these interceptors, get them at least to semi-full, back to 11, back to, we want to eventually go back to 24, of course. This base is extremely oversaturated. The 3rd base has fallen. A 6th base is kind of out of the question here. I don't see how a 6th base could ever be safe here for Creator, who still has these carriers in this army, but is lacking disruptors. He's lacking he's lacking major splash here that can do well. One disruptor shot gets a good connection though. That's definitely going to help, but pushing into this is, I find it difficult, very, very difficult to believe that this army is going to keep trading as well as it currently is. The moment the supply rises for ByuN, I think Creator might be in a little bit of trouble, but for now, Creator is actually pushing forward, pops a Guardian Shield. It's such a fragile army. Like, the moment you miss that one Disruptor shot, it's just going to be hard. And ByuN, I think ByuN, instead of, should probably be waiting here a little bit. He keeps jumping on and bleeding out like 4 or 5 Marauders every single time, instead of just waiting for his income lead to kind of kick in. Like, he's mining 1,000 more a minute. He should be capable of stalling until then. Here we see a couple of Marauders in the main base doing God's work. I wouldn't even mind if ByuN starts a semi-base trade here. Problem is that he's a little bit late on it at this point. Now we still see he's completely outmining his opponent. This base isn't that important. This base, however, is important. Once this base falls, that could be a major issue. That actually could be a major issue. We still have 2 Templar in this prism. ByuN is so keen to fight. I'm confused by his willingness to fight. It's going to be coming from, I guess, 2 sides. We see no base being taken here, just probes being transferred for some long distance mining. There's no ghost here on the left side. Oh, now ByuN needs to be controlling 2 armies at the same time. SCVs are being pulled. Good EMPs going down as well. Where's the Storms? 2 Templars still in the prism here. Doesn't want to lose the prism. Oh, carriers are being pushed back. Only 3 interceptors left alive. Storms semi-hitting everything. 45 works against 62. Army supply in favor of Creator. So I think Creator might have potentially broken. Oh, might have potentially broken ByuN. The only thing I'm a little bit afraid of. Actually, am I afraid of anything here for Creator? He should not be going into the main base, should he? That's not going to be the call. 11 more Marines on the way. Splash is pretty much gone from this army. Bar these Archons. Now, of course, Marines build rather quickly. I wouldn't mind seeing 1 EMP boy being added into the mix, though. Still outmining his opponent. Oh! Still outmining his opponent is ByuN, is what I was going to say. A couple of these blink forward will get taken out. Good micro here from ByuN. Yeah, Colossi is 100% the correct call here. Either Colossi or Templar is what you're going to be needing. You're going to need big Storms, big Colossi wipes, swipes. Against these big Marine counts. Now, with the planetary here, this position is safe. This position is mining at least. A mine over here. Would love to see that placed over here to the top. This orbital should not fall ByuN. That's a massive error if it does. Marine with their high DPS trying to get a trade in. SCV's tanking a lot of damage as well. Oi, Creator overstaying is welcome here, and he might think, well, I did end up killing a lot of stuff. Please repair this. ByuN, please repair this. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding. Okay, no, he's repairing this. Never mind. That's the stop base. Yeah. A little bit too impatient there was Creator. Now, he still has an army that can fight this. He couldn't before, but now he can. He has 2 Colossi. There's a 3rd Colossi on the way. 46 Marine, single Marauder. Like, your name can be ByuN, but if you can, if you can micro Marines to be the Colossi, like, that gives you absolute GOAT status. This base is gonna die. I think Creator is too afraid to fight. He just gave up this base way too willingly. Oh no. That's a major issue here. That's a major issue. He's going to try to initiate a base trade. He's extremely indecisive here. These probes are not going to be able to be recalled, but they're not going to get hunted down either. So for now, that's going to be fine. Probe 3 probes end up falling. What do we have here? Long distance mining coming from a potential 6th base location, or I guess now it's going to be 5th base. This base is close to mining out. Oh, engagement in the middle of the map. Yeah, look at this army. It's pure Marine. There's 11 Marauders now, which is going to help, but there's still 3 Immortals in this army as well. I just love to see 1 or 2 Stormer boys here being added. Storms would be so freaking powerful in this situation. Loving the Stalkers behind this mineral line, but the range on the planetary proves to be a little bit too much, as 1 Stalker bites the dust. The other one doesn't, though. so Queen was wrong in that regard. 131 against 120 supply. I have actually no clue who's winning this, but the armies look better for ByuN, or for Creator here, who is fighting against a no ghost almost. Well, it's not really pure marine, but there's a lot of marines. There's a lot of sentries in this army, which is smart, because if he can't get EMP'd, then force fields are going to be great here. ByuN, I think, kind of realizing, hey, I think I'm outmining my opponent. At least I have more locations which I'm mining from. What happens if I just base trade? Oh no, ByuN's gonna go back. No, you shouldn't be going back. As this base is dying, a base on the other side should have been dying as well. And then all of a sudden you're gonna be ahead, because you have this base still mining, which is hard to break. I'm loving this base trade here coming out of ByuN. I'm loving it. I'm really a big fan of this. These Marauders should probably be going down here, but there's some big F2 action going on, I have a feeling. If you're not mining from here, you're actively losing the game. Good recall coming out of Creator here. Afraid to be caught out on the map, afraid of a base trade. Right now realizing he's, for the first time in quite some time, he's mining more than his opponent, and thus the longer this game goes on, the better the situation. We need to see some Templar though being added into this army. I feel like Creator's a little bit hesitant to build anything because he's not quite sure what he wants to be building. He's like, well, you know what, I'm just gonna save some money. I don't think this is because of poor macro. It's just he probably wants to grab another base soon, but he's just too afraid to do it right now, so he's just waiting. Now he's adding 2 disruptors, which actually is not a correct call. There's no ghost in this army. Storm would have been better. This is a scary looking army, by the way, out of ByuN. Gonna end up losing a base here. I don't understand why there's not a single ghost here. 1 or 2 ghosts could make such a massive difference against this army that once the shields go, this army falls rather rapidly as well. We're going to need to see a massive concave here out of ByuN in order for him to properly fight. Creator needs to be so careful. This is 105 army supply. Just stimps his entire army accidentally. Oh, oh, oh. 1 Marauder goes down. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. A couple of good swipes with those Colossi. This base is still GG. ByuN calls GG. As he thinks, he doesn't. I feel like with 1 or 2 EMPs in this army, he's going to be in an absolutely fine position. He just let this base die against 2 as well. Yeah, this is... we gotta respect the decision of him to GG out. He probably would have ended up losing, but... Oh, what a game. That was an absolutely crazy, crazy game from the olimoleague replay pack. Thanks so much for that on their Patreon. If you did enjoy this cast, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, leave a like down below. And what a odd game. It really felt like ByuN kind of got tunnel visioned into only Marine Marauder there on the end. Even though he had quite some income, he definitely could have put in a couple of ghosts there. Wow. What an absolutely mental game that was. That really was something else. Alright, see you all next time for a new video, I guess.